Good morning, Fractal Effects team. We're just in the middle of the morning setup, so please make sure you read the disclosure at fractaleffects.com, the footer section. If you're following along with us, please do so in a demo account, as this is for educational purposes only. We are not financial advisors, and this is not financial advice. So right now we have a downside expansion model. We've had a clean MM to the upside. I should say clean MM to the downside, but we broke the manipulation range up first, set up for a 5M fair value gap. That was never tapped. Now we're below the DSD, so we're actually using the DSD high, the inverse of it, to push down into this 4-hour fair value gap. You can see on US 500, and then we'll most likely head for this purple zone on NAS. We have yet to get a confirmation, so this next candle should also give us our confirmation if we take out these lows. We do have FOMC meeting minutes today, and some minor news drop that happened at 10 o'clock, orange folder. Because we did have that bank holiday on Monday. Tuesday kind of acted like Monday, so now Wednesday is kind of acting like Tuesday, where it's most likely going to set the low of the week. At least that's the expectation. We'll see. US 500 getting ready to get that bearish confirmation. We've already had a double break. So there's 2 points of confluence on US 500. That's pushing this market down, but it could just push us down to take out these lows. So these lows pair up with this midpoint. So NAS might not get below this. We'll see. And if it doesn't, then they might push this market back up after it sweeps those lows. Just to always be cognizant of where all the ranges are. This is a bit of a messy drop. I compare this to a runaway market. This is where we wanted to get our entry. This would have been, let's bring this down a little bit. So we had a clean MM to the upside right here. Hit a 7-hour fair value gap. We're also sitting inside of a daily fair value gap. Created this 5M, this massive 5M fair value gap, and it didn't tap it. And instead it used the 10 o'clock opening candle and the rejection of the DSD high, the bottom of it, to push down. Now here's the bigger range fib. I want to see how easily and fast US 500 takes these London lows. And I want to see if NAS can give us that confirmation as well. 44 seconds left. Another way we use divergence is if we get a bullish confirmation on one of them, we're hoping to get the bullish confirmation on the other as well. Sorry, bearish, I meant bearish confirmation. "15 seconds left. I think this bearish confirmation will stick. Neither of these pairs has tapped a 5M fair value gap. They're just using inverse points. We're using the blue zone inverse. Because this was the, I'll show you what we were hoping for. Because remember, after we break the MM, if it's going to be a clean MM, it will most likely draw back to the blue zone. And that's exactly what it did, but it didn't tap us. Like, I was hoping we would tap here and push down into the blue zone. That would have been a good 1 to 3, and we would have been out quick, but just never tapped us, kept dropping, using the DSD high as the inverse to push down. Then the end dog inverse, like these are just inverse points that have already been tapped. But no 5M fair value gap has been tapped. So I'm hoping after this confirmation, so we got a bearish confirmation here on US 500, still waiting for it on NAS. Whether or not we get it, we could get an early retracement back into the DSD zone. And then hopefully that will set it up to go to short into this DSD low here and the 4-hour fair value gap. US 500 retracing. Remember, our dealing range is right here. So we tapped it. I'd like to come back and at least touch the 20 EMA. We have not touched it since we had a crossover. Also, as mentioned before, we have not hit any 5M fair value gaps. This is not a clean setup. So we have no foothold right now. Again, it's using inverse points. There's the purple zone inverse. Here, I believe, is London's. That's London's fair value gap, London session. And there's your blue zone. I need to come back in here and do something. Otherwise, as mentioned before, this is comparable to a runaway market. The other thing is, NAS never gave us a double break. That would have sealed the deal. That would have been 2 clean MMs, 2 double breaks, and 2 bearish confirmations. Not to mention we have a downside expansion model and a mixed model sell. So it's more than enough confluence that this thing wants to push down and act like Tuesday and set the low. but there has to be a foothold. And the reason there has to be a foothold is because that's where we would put our stop loss. Without a foothold, we do not have an anchored trade. An unanchored trade without a stop loss is where people blow their accounts. Our first goal is capital preservation. So this aqua box here is the 15M fair value gap, but we're bouncing off the blue zone. So I'm going to get rid of this gap because that zone is much more important. And we're sitting inside of a daily fair value gap. So no double break or bearish confirmation here yet. Now, let's take a look at the divergence alone. These are very, very strong points. So this blue zone, right now NAS is having a tough time getting through it. It's lined up with this 4-hour fair value gap and a daily fair value gap. So we have a 4-hour inside of a daily, this purple side of this yellow. So anytime you see this kind of consolidation happening at one of these points, you want to watch for divergence. I've mentioned it before. When divergence is happening, you'll see the weaker pair become stronger for that moment. So right now, if we're having a tough time getting past the blue zone, and there's your low right now on the 5M. Where's it? Right here. I want to make sure there's no reversal happening. So right now, this can't get past the blue zone. We want to see if this will take that low first. If it takes this low, that could be them pushing this market up higher. How high? Most likely to at least the 20 EMA. We'll see if it takes out these highs, maybe even as high as right here. Remember, we have a big range today. No confirmation on NAS and no double break. That means it could retrace all the way back up here if it wants to. We're bouncing off this blue zone. I'd like to see US 500 sweep this low. Oh, okay. Did they both sweep it? No. Here comes the bearish confirmation. Let's see if it sticks. If US 500 sweeps this, which it already has, but NAS does not, we could potentially get a false day where they push this market back up. Remember, we're still at the Fibonacci golden level right there between 61 and 70. So we took these lows, and yet NAS cannot get past the blue zone. This could be an indication that they want to push this up. That would be your power of 3 manipulation here. But since we have a bearish confirmation, we can't buy this market. I want to see this candle close. Then I want to see if the next candle is an expansion candle to the upside. This could even take out London lows. Look how far we are from London lows here for NAS. It's all the way down here. So if this takes London lows and we cannot get past this blue zone, or even sweep here, this could be pushing up into this zone. Again, just be mindful of that. One minute, 28 seconds left. Still no confirmation here on NAS. So if this candle closes here, we'll most likely be pushing up deeper, at least into the 20, maybe into the DSD high, and then maybe further up. The sentiment is still bearish. Could drop from up here. So we swept London lows. We're sitting in a 4-hour fair value gap with US 500. Very, very far away from London lows here and the 4-hour fair value gap in the DSD low. So this could be setting up for a deeper retracement. Let's see. Okay, so there's your bearish confirmation, so it's stuck. We had all this rejection on this blue zone as well. So we're kind of wedged between two blue zones, rejecting off of this one and rejecting off of this one. I think we'll go back at least up to the 20 EMA. Because that way we can use at least the end dog again, the inverse of the end dog, new day opening gap as our push down. So if we cross this line, that's a double break. Both of these markets are most likely going to drop into DSD low there. So for US 500, the DSD low is all the way down here into another 4-hour fair value gap. Low hanging fruit would just be the midpoint here. So this is the first 5M bearish fair value gap being created. And we just got our double break here on NAS. Still want to see a retracement. Now we're 100% bearish. Doesn't mean we have a foothold still. .26 seconds left. We'll see if this 5M fair value gap stays open. The only thing is there's no room here. I wanted to get an entry from here to go down here. I wouldn't mind getting an entry from up here to go down here. It's just because this is our inevitable target, this 4-hour fair value gap, this purple box, and then the DSD low. Most likely the consequence encroachment of the DSD low, but I need an entry that can take me into this. I need a foothold, and I don't want to keep using inverse zones. So in US 500, let's drop down to the 1M. So far, this is the only 5M bearish fair value gap that's been created, so let's see what happens here. And it's paired up with the inverse of the London fair value gap. We're on back into the dealing range. It might use this blue zone. Bounces off of this and we get an immediate rebalancing candle. It could just be using that to push down. Here we've violated this. So let's check on the 5M. So still got 2 minutes 38 seconds left. I want to see if this gets violated on the 5M. Now it's a question of which one of these pairs is going to sweep these highs. Since this is the weaker one, it almost makes sense for US 500 to take out these highs and NAS to stop at that blue zone and not take out those highs. We got more than enough time, 27 minutes before our session concludes. This might be the push we're looking for. I want to see US 500 can take out these highs. I want to see if NAS makes it past this blue zone. Close to that 20 EMA now. So NAS just took out these highs. Dapping the N dog. 20 EMA. Let me see what this is doing on the 5M. So we have clearly violated this 1M. 5M fair value gap. Get rid of that. Back to the purple zone. Purple zone lines up with the N dog. 4 minutes left. I want to see if it actually leaves maybe a bullish fair value gap that we could use as an inverse, and then an immediate rebalancing candle. Since US 500 violated this 5M bearish fair value gap, we want to see one of these pairs actually create a 5M bearish value gap, tap it, and then run down into this zone. Let's just hope there's enough room, and if it happens in our window of opportunity. US 500 looks like it's giving us that engulfing rebalancing candle right off of the purple zone. I want to see it close. And that could be a signal that NAS wants to drop as well. NAS is the more interesting pair for me just because it has more room to go. So the midpoint of this DSD low, consequence encroachment, matches up with our weekly range low here and the midpoint of the daily fair value gap. 39 seconds left. $22. I'd like to see this stay open so we can use it as an inverse on the way down. This would be the first fair value gap created. Look at this, there's nothing in here. That's just because of the kind of week we have had so far, and the fact that we have FOMC meeting minutes. Meeting minutes is not as volatile as the conference, but it still does at times. They'll use any opportunity to reprice the market. It's all a smokescreen. Doesn't really matter. Sometimes they'll use an orange folder to do one big spike just because they feel like it. So I want to see a 5M bearish fair value gap created now, and I want to see it push past this bullish fair value gap and use it as an inverse. That could be the push down. So we're getting close to having a foothold. That would inevitably become your stop loss, the end dog, the midpoint. We would need to use this inverse, and I want to see a 5M bearish fair value gap created. Since there was nothing, we did tap the 20 EMA. Let's check the 1M. 1M also left no bearish fair value gaps yet. Just gotta stay patient. It's coming though, the setup looks like. "35 seconds left. I want to see a bearish fair value gap first. See what's happening on US 500. See, even on US 500, none of the bearish fair value gaps are being tapped. Two minutes, 50 seconds left. I want to see if this candle closes above or below this fair value gap. We've already violated it. Now we have this trying to be in a immediate rebalancing candle, engulfing candle, but I want to see if it actually engulfs or if it closes below this. Back to the blue zone. Everything's still bearish. One minute, 25 seconds left. Making another run up to the 20 EMA here. About 10 minutes left in our stream. So they're running NAS up for last little bit of liquidity, I think, before they drop both of these. We've already taken out the low again here. US 500 at that 1M fair value gap. We did create this small little volume imbalance. Let's see if we can get below that. I'm sure they're going to sweep these highs before they push it down, but we don't want to see US 500 get above this fair value gap. This is the perfect kind of divergence where everything is bearish, and this 1M fair value gap represents pretty much the end dog now. I think we just took those highs. Okay, so we just took those highs. We do not want to see US 500 get past this fair value gap, or at least closed below it, wick. That could be a sign that they want to push both these down. 2 minutes left. As mentioned before, we do not want to get above this fair value gap on US 500. NAS is now taking out all these highs. US 500 unable to get past this, which is a good sign that they want to drop them both. 1 minute, 20 seconds left. Let's see. Two seconds, 1 second. I believe that was probably the last push up. Now I want to see displacement candles to the downside, and I want to take these out. I want to see it displace, push past this zone as quickly as possible. There should not be a lot of hold up now. 4 minutes left. So we did leave another 5M bullish fair value gap. So let's see if we can't use this one as an inverse now. 49 seconds left. We want to push through this zone as quickly as possible. I want to see it accelerate from here, not just gesticulate. The only thing is when you have meeting minutes in the afternoon, they do like to pause these markets up, so. But I don't want to see another run up. I just want to see a drop from here. This will be our last candle. I'd like it to be a displacement candle to the downside. This is a high resistance liquidity run. It'd have to get past all these points to take out these lows and go into this 4-hour fair value gap. But US 500, unable to get past this point. I'm hoping this just drops both of them from here. But we want to see displacement. We want to see it happen quick, not slowly. This will be our last candle, 2 minutes, 44 seconds. Please make sure you check us out on fractaleffects.com where we teach high probability trading. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications so you know when we're live. We'll be live again tomorrow. Come back. This is your homework for the days. Come back, check this out, see what they do in the afternoon. And again, when you start seeing how they use fundamentals along with technicals, there's days that you just would rather avoid. Anytime you see the word FOMC on the economic news calendar, even if it's meeting minutes don't, like the actual wick from the news drop isn't usually that big. It's not like FOMC press conference, but at the same time, it still creates this muddied up price action where I think people are anticipating that news. If this was any other day, we would have seen much, much faster displacement movement. This market is all bearish, but yet it has not dropped. It's being held up, so you can imagine why. 1 minute, 24 seconds, and we'll conclude. Continue to practice in your demo account. What you want to do, essentially, is give it 30 days. If you're not profitable in that demo account in 30 days, then you know you still have more studying to do. And take another 30 days. But look at it in a 30-day monthly projection. And make sure you're actually documenting all this. have a Excel spreadsheet. What was your win-loss ratio? What was your risk to reward? "34 seconds and we'll conclude. I was hoping to get that displacement, that push down. That would have been nice. Nice way to end this. Maybe we can. Maybe we'll just get one big candle down in the next 21 seconds. Who knows? But anyways, that's our time. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good rest of the day.